good, everybody? It's your boy, Pat the Designer.
And it's Bando Brando.
And we back for another episode.
Let's get it.
On this episode... The 2017 NFL Draft recently passed. The Chicago Bears. How? How? My question is how.
Why is more so my question.
This is why my question is how. Because this was the draft that literally almost every defensive player could have been amazing. You know, every first-round defensive player, even some of the second round, they'll probably pan out to be pretty good players. They'll build the league for a long time.
Probably, yeah. I agree with that.
How did they mess it up? How did they mess it up? Literally.
Mess it up on one condition.
First,
we'll come to that condition, but on one condition. Continue.
First round, Bears do something nobody expected. They trade into the second pick. We're all shocked. We're all amazed. We're like, oh, snap. The Bears really want Solomon Thomas. The Bears really want this guy that's going to be the face of the defense for the next 10 to 15 years.
And then,
with the first pick, second pick, in the NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback from North Carolina. Quarterback from North Carolina. This is the thing.
6'3".
This is
220 pounds.
Let me be honest with you.
Listen, I just want to say, if he turns out to be a really good quarterback, a great quarterback, it's an amazing draft. We don't know what to expect from him. Again, he only played 13 games in college. He did set the record for the Tar Heels in most touchdowns. In 13 games.
That he did.
We don't really know what to expect. But at the same time,
I think this is the biggest problem. I don't have a problem with the pick. The Bears do need a quarterback. Yeah. If you're going to pick a quarterback, pick a guy with a great resume who has potential to be amazing.
Well, yeah, that's what they need. Yeah.
Here's my problem. The Chicago Bears were originally set to pick third, right?
Okay, yeah.
The 49ers were going to pick Solomon Thomas. There's been no evidence. They say that they were worried that another team was going to trade up and take a quarterback before the Bears could get him. There's been no evidence of that. There's been no evidence that anyone was, really trying to get that second pick to take the quarterback because they'd have had to give it up so much. It wouldn't have been worth it.
Exactly.
Like they were talking about Kansas City. Kansas City was so far back. First off, Pat Mahomes, they already came out and said Pat Mahomes was the first quarterback on their board. So he was so far back, they would have had to give up the first-round pick from this year, first-round pick from next year, second-round pick from this year, second-round pick from next year, and probably a third-round pick or maybe a fourth.
Well, yeah, my thing about it is the Bears took a risk. And I mean, in any sports, that's what a lot of teams do. They take a risk, but I don't know if this was a risk so much that they should have taken because I feel like maybe they would have still been able to get him, but you never know. And it all comes down to what he becomes.
And that's my biggest problem. The pick itself is not my problem. They need a quarterback. They do. And,
exactly.
And the big red giraffe probably isn't going to be it.
Yeah.
He's just not. Mike Glennon, he might be good. He might be Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know. But it doesn't scream off the pages to me that he's going to be dominant. So they needed to draft a quarterback in this draft.
But do you draft a quarterback that early?
I didn't have any of these quarterbacks above a top 10 pick. So I don't think any of them should have went that high. But here's my problem with it. The Chicago Bears could have got him at 4. The Niners wanted Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have traded that pick because they wanted Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
You gave up 3 draft picks to move up 1 spot. You gave up a third from this year, a third from next year to move up 1 spot. And you could have gotten the same guy.
Yeah, I was about to say, let me ask you
one pick down.
Let me ask you this. So if they don't trade up for that spot, do they still get that quarterback?
Well, that's what they were saying. But the thing is, I don't think, that's what I'm saying. The 49ers wanted Solomon Thomas. I don't think anyone else would have given up what it would have taken to get to the second pick.
Right.
So, and even if they did, I think Deshaun Watson or somebody would have went with that pick. I don't think Mitch Trubisky would have been the guy. So I think the Bears could have gotten him. I think Ryan Pace just scared himself out of it. I think he was bidding against himself. He's sitting there, oh, somebody's going to call in. They're going to lose it. We got to give up something for it to make sure we get this guy. Now, granted, like you said, if this guy turns out to be the next Aaron Rodgers, we sit back. We don't know what happened to those third picks. Who cares?
Thank you. Right.
Who cares, But let's just look at the overall draft. Mitchell Trubisky, of course, the headline of the draft. I think that's the biggest loss right there. They gave up those draft picks which everyone says, oh, it's a third-round pick, it's a fourth-round pick, you don't need them.
But you get
good guys in the third and fourth round.
Yeah.
You get those guys that can fill your defense. You get those guys that can fill those holes, and this was the draft to get them in.
Yeah, and really, what the thing I see is that the Bears, I know it's a progression. They get better and better, having the worst record they've ever had last year. They just want to rebuild. They want to get key players that they need. Like hopefully they know for a fact that Mitch is going to be good. Right. So they went for him. So if he ends up being good, that's good. Now each year you keep adding on and progressively getting better, and that's what you need from him. At the same time, if he isn't good, I mean, what did we didn't really get anything because
we got nothing, and we lost.
We lost players.
We lost players that could have potentially been on the team. And just looking at the rest of this draft,
yeah, let's look at some of the other people that they picked up.
They went Adam. What is it? Shaheen.
Yeah. He seems like he's gonna be good. He's a big tight end.
He's a big body. He's got an NFL body. Here's my problem.
6'6". I mean,
here's my problem with the rest of this draft. Other than Eddie Jackson, who
we needed, and that's the thing that the Bears needed was Eddie Jackson, the safety. That was a key pickup for the Bears.
But here's my problem.
Would you have gone earlier for a safety?
If you don't trade those picks, you can get one in the third round. They didn't have a third round pick. I wouldn't have traded those picks. Now here's the problem though. This guy has had multiple major injuries in college. He has had issues with durability in college. And you've picked this guy with the fourth pick as your safety. He's out of Alabama. He couldn't get on the field ahead of the starting safeties.
Right.
He was a backup, which you need those guys, but the Bears need a starting safety. They need a star that can come out there and play back there. And
I mean,
other than
getting Eddie Jackson was a good pickup. I mean, he's really what you needed. Being able to not only be a safety, he's a punt returner. So if he ends up being a really good punt returner, that's a double bonus for the Bears. I mean, stuff that they need, including how terrible their special teams was last year. Yeah. So I feel like Eddie Jackson was a good pickup, but I just feel like they could have got so much more out of this draft. I don't know. And we won't know until the season starts really to understand like what Mitch gives us and what Eddie Jackson gives us. These players that we pick, we're going to need them to show up. Because last year having the worst record of all time for the Bears, I mean, you want to pick up these players, and you're not just looking for them to just sit on the bench and wait out. You want to start these players. These are players that are coming in for you.
Here's the problem with them too. They didn't pick players that played against top competition. Like these guys might pan out. These guys might be great NFL players. They, everything. Even with the top competition, it's a possibility.
Just good role players for the team.
This is the thing. These guys didn't play against the Notre Dames. They didn't play against the Alabamas. They didn't play against Auburn. These guys are from colleges like Ashland. They're from colleges like North Carolina A&T. They picked a running back out of there. They're Kutztown. Where's Kutztown? They picked a guard out of Kutztown. Like, these guys did not play against top competition, and here's my problem with that. Now you want them to all of a sudden, they're playing Division II football. Now you all of a sudden want them to play against guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's a jump. At least if you're playing Division I, you're playing against guys who have potential to make the NFL. Right. Potential great talent. You're playing at Kutztown. You're playing against the Joe Schmoes who didn't have a chance to make it at Division I. You know, like
so pretty much we don't know what to expect from what we got. Literally, this was probably one of the most risky drafts going with everything that the Bears did. This was a very risky draft. I'm not gonna say that it was a failed draft because we won't know till we see what these players do.
You don't know.
But at the same time,
that's exactly what it is. But
you have to think about what you could have got out of this draft.
I'm not saying the fat lady singing, but she warming up.
Yeah.
You know, like it's one of those things that I was just amazed at it, and it's so Bears. Like, you know how we used to say before the Cubs won the World Series, it's so Cubs. Like they would be up 6 runs and then like they'd give up 7 in the bottom of the ninth.
Right.
Like that was just the Cubs thing to do. This is so Bears how they have become this team. Like they're almost the Browns.
No, they ain't the Browns.
They're almost. You know why? Because when we did this, we went into this draft like they're gonna get a great defensive player. They're gonna do it. They're gonna be great. They're gonna figure it out. And they literally did everything the opposite. And you know who had a great draft this year? The Browns.
They did. Oh my God.
The Browns,
bro.
Like they season coming up.
Right.
They still don't. I still don't think they have the quarterback of the future. Maybe they do, but
they did it right.
You know, I think they got Deshaun Kaiser too.
They did it right.
But at the same time, they got potential going forward.
Yeah. I mean, we really don't know we can't even say that the Bears don't, to be honest, because at the end of the day, the Bears might have picked up players that have a lot of potential. But I don't know exactly what they were seeing in these players. Mitch, he can throw the ball. He's what you need from a quarterback from what we've seen from highlights and watching his games and everything. Here's
my problem with Mitch too. What was his name for the Bears last year? Matt Barkley would have been a great quarterback if his receivers could catch the ball.
Yeah.
He would have had probably a bunch more wins if his receivers could catch the ball. You're telling me now you're going to run Mike Glennon out there and Mitch Trubisky, and these guys are all of a sudden going to be so much better, even though they're the quarterback can only do so much.
Yeah, it's all in progress. Like I said, it's all in progress. This year, what you wanted to go for and focus on was really defense on the quarterback. A quarterback was necessary. A safety was necessary. It was almost that you had to get one, which they did.
You needed a DB too. You definitely needed a DB, and they didn't get that.
And it's the way that they went about getting what they got. Because, like I said, I believe they still could have got Mitch if they didn't make that trade.
Exactly. Me too. I'm with you.
And now they would have had other key players that they could have got. They could have got that DB. See what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, we won't know till we watch.
We'll find out
the rest of the season.
We'll definitely find out.
All of the season.
We'll definitely find out. But let us know how y'all feel.
Please, yeah.
Let us know in the comments below. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know how y'all feel about it. All of it. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I want to give a special shout out. Hold on. Let me make sure I got their name right, because our video got shared on a couple of websites or a couple pages on Facebook. Shout out to flyersvids.com on Facebook. We appreciate the love. We got almost over 800 views on there, so we know that y'all watching. So like, subscribe, shout out to flyersvids.com. We'll leave a link in the description to their page too. So thank y'all for showing out the love.
Yeah.
It's been the breeze.